This is Marie here with Funding for Good. Today I want to talk a little bit about founders. We say funders, founders, but today we're talking about founders of nonprofit organizations. This is a huge topic because Mandy and I get phone calls every single week from individuals who have a cause that they're passionate about and they want to start a nonprofit or they already started a nonprofit. The challenge is when someone is so passionate about a cause, they have the intention of dedicating their life to that cause. But the moment they create a nonprofit organization, their role in that mission or in that cause becomes ambiguous. So for example, let's say that I have an after-school program that I've created as a volunteer, and all of a sudden I say, you know what, I want to make this my life's calling. I'm going to start a nonprofit dedicated to at-risk youth, and I'm going to do something great with this program. So I get the program going, I get my friends, my family members involved, and all of a sudden we say, you know what, we need to be a nonprofit. So we go through the process and we get our tax-exempt status, and all of a sudden there's a little question on there that says, who are your board members? So of course I round up my friends and my family members and everyone who believes in what we're doing, and we create a board of directors. What Mandy and I see more often or not is that the founder of the organization has to choose between becoming a board member and helping govern and set the direction of the organization, or becoming a staff member. And usually the founders are so dedicated and passionate about their cause, they want to be boots on the ground. They want to be working with the clients. So what's the problem with that? It's technically a conflict of interest. As a board member, you're a governing member of the nonprofit, and technically you should be fulfilling board terms. A good term limit would be maybe a 3-year term. Maybe you can even opt for a second term of 3 years, which means you could potentially serve on the board you founded for 6 years. Best practice would indicate that you need to rotate off at least for a year before coming back on to allow fresh blood and fresh ideas into the organization. So if you are the founder of the nonprofit and you become a board member, essentially after 1 or 2 board terms, you would be expected to rotate off, and you would be trusting that ministry or that mission or that organization in someone else's hands. Now let's just say that you decide you're going to become a staff member and that you're going to be the executive director. The executive director works at the will of the board. The board of directors for any nonprofit, by definition, can govern the executive director. They are responsible for hiring and screening and managing and firing and hiring someone new if they needed to. So if you are the founder and you become the executive director, and over the years the mission transitions and changes, you technically could be fired or let go, and someone else could be hired in your place, which means essentially you have been removed from the organization you created. That is just the true facts of a nonprofit organization, because the government sees it as a service to the community. Therefore, this isn't like a family business that you say, we're keeping it all in the family. We want board members from the family. We want staff members from the family. This is not a personal business. If you have a cause you're passionate about and you want to work on it for life, and you don't want to be under the governance of a board, you might need to consider a for-profit, or maybe look at it as a church ministry and have your church oversee a project and you manage it, and that be kind of your baby. But the moment you go through the formal nonprofit organization route, you need to be prepared to look at your role moving forward. So I know this might be hard to hear for all of you founders out there, but just know that the purpose of your nonprofit is to live long beyond your time frame with the organization, so that your cause can continue to be an active support in your community. Hope this helps, and this is just a quick tip from Funding for Good.